Hi, I'm Steve G. Jones, clinical hypnotherapist, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself before we get started. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Florida, a master's degree in education from Armstrong Atlantic State University, and a doctorate in education from Georgia Southern University. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist, a member of both the American Board of Hypnotherapy and the National Guild of Hypnotists, and I'm president of the American Alliance of Hypnotists. I'm the director of the Steve G. Jones School of Clinical Hypnotherapy. I also serve on the board of directors of the American Lung Association in Los Angeles. I have over 2 decades of experience in hypnotherapy, and I still maintain a busy practice and teaching schedule because I see clients and teach classes worldwide. My client base consists mainly of people who want to lose weight, stop smoking, or gain confidence. Other clients include sales teams interested in boosting motivation and increasing income. Also, singles looking for love, insomniacs desiring proper sleep, and actors desiring more confidence for their next audition. When I travel to see clients and teach hypnotherapy certification classes around the world, I visit such places as Tokyo, Japan, Barcelona, Spain, Paris, France, London, England, Montreal, Canada, Los Angeles, California, and New York, just to name a few. By the way, since you have an interest in hypnosis, perhaps you would be interested in becoming a certified clinical hypnotherapist. It's very easy to do. All you have to do is go to my website, betterlivingwithhypnosis.com, and click on Hypnosis Classes at the top. You can either train in person or online. After your training, you'll be added to our worldwide directory of certified clinical hypnotherapists, and you'll receive a certificate. I was fortunate for many years to have my office in Beverly Hills, California, where I worked with such wonderful people as Tom Mankiewicz, the writer of Superman, Geraldine Saunders, the writer of The Love Boat, and many other celebrities. I have been interviewed on CNN, Fox News, and appeared on True TV, in addition to having my own hypnosis TV show. With my over 20 years of experience, I'm happy to share with you techniques that I've both developed and learned, which can help you improve your life. I encourage you to visit my website, betterlivingwithhypnosis.com. There you will find my life's work, 22 books on hypnotherapy, over 3,000 hypnosis recordings available as downloadable MP3s or CDs, and these recordings will program your mind to achieve goals in such areas as weight loss, motivation, and stopping smoking. I also have audiobooks, such as this one, where I'm talking with you and sharing with you in a very dynamic way techniques that you can use to improve your life and the way you do things. The reason I'm telling you all of this is not to impress you, but to impress upon you that I, your teacher, am very capable and I know what I'm talking about. I'm also very happy for the opportunity to share this information with you, so rest assured that you're in good hands, and let's have some fun as we now expand your knowledge. I wish you well in all of your endeavors, and please be sure to visit my website, betterlivingwithhypnosis.com. Welcome to the program on spiritual meditation. I think what separates this program from a lot of spiritual meditation programs is the focus of what I'm going to talk about. And that is, I'm going to talk about concepts that you can meditate on. I'm going to give you food for thought, if you will, rather than focusing a tremendous amount of energy on the physical techniques of meditation, how to sit, how to place your arms, and so forth. I'm going to focus on things that you can meditate on. I'm going to open your mind to concepts in this program, concepts that you can then meditate on in your own way. But I want you to realize that meditation happens all the time. We are constantly meditating because meditation is a natural part of what we do. When we allow ourselves to drift and to daydream, we are experiencing a form of meditation. Now, some people will tell you that meditation doesn't happen unless you're sitting in the lotus position with your back upright, chin parallel with the floor, eyes closed, and you're sitting in a meditation room and you've been trained by a meditation expert and you're using a particular formula for the way you're processing your thoughts. And they will tell you that that is meditation and that is the only way to meditate. Well, I want to tell you that you can break free from that because nobody owns meditation. There's no right way or wrong way to meditate. There are schools that teach meditation, just like there are schools that teach hypnotherapy. And as an instructor who's been teaching hypnotherapy for a long time, I can tell you there are many ways to teach hypnotherapy. All of them are valid. It comes down to personal preference. How do you like to learn? How do you like to hypnotize people? There are a lot of ways to do a lot of different things in this world. Meditation is one of those areas in which there are just so many ways to do it, and none of them are right or wrong. So I invite you to let go of what you've learned in the past about meditation, about how it should happen, and open your mind up to the idea that meditation can happen in a number of ways. So meditation can happen in any situation in your life at any time, and it doesn't have to follow a prescribed series of actions in order to actually be happening. However, even having said that, I'm going to give you some standard ways that people meditate, things that they actually do, procedures they follow when they meditate, so that you will have a protocol for meditation if you want it. But primarily what I'm going to focus on in this program would be a series of thought-provoking concepts that you can use to meditate on. I think that's going to be much more valuable than the dynamics of meditation. If you want to, for example, know how to raise your Kundalini through Kundalini meditation, try my program at CompleteKundalini.com. That program is going to tell you how to sit and how to activate your Kundalini and raise it up through your chakras. It's a very technical program. If you want to know how to activate and clear your chakras, try my program at TrueChakra.com. Now, I'm not saying those programs to sell you anything. I'm telling you that if you want technical information, CompleteKundalini.com and TrueChakra.com. And the second one is TrueChakra. Those programs are more technically based. They're going to teach you how to raise your Kundalini and clear your chakras. This program, however, is much more interested in enlightening you, giving you food for thought, so that you can kind of take the ball and run with it in any direction you choose, without any limitations, without any prescribed way of doing that. So let's first of all talk about classic meditation, how it's done. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on that, and then I want to get into some really fascinating information about opening your mind to a lot of the current thoughts that are going around right now concerning spiritual enlightenment, because I feel that we are at the very beginning of a new era of enlightenment, an era in which we will be more accepting of other people of other races, other religions, other ways of looking at the world. We are at the verge of perhaps not attaining world peace, because there are always going to be arguments, and countries are always going to have something to differ on when it comes to opinions about the way things should be done. But we are on the verge of a more firm understanding globally that we're all in this together. And should we at some point discover that, yes, there is life on other planets, wouldn't it be nice if our global community was cohesive at that time, if we all got along pretty well, if we looked at ourselves as a unit, as a group of people who really enjoyed each other's company here on this planet? That's going to be far more conducive to getting along with people on other planets, should that happen to be the case. But even if that doesn't happen, even if we don't make friends with people on other planets, it's just nice to know that we're moving closer to getting along on this planet, to finally understanding that war isn't the answer, that fighting, large-scale fighting, I'm talking about with weapons and so forth, that leads nowhere, and that we need to find a way to sensibly get along with each other despite our differences. Differences are part of the color of the fabric, that when you weave them all together, they make the fabric interesting. If the fabric happened to be one color, it wouldn't be very interesting. But we're more like a patchwork quilt on this earth, and because of that, we're fascinating. Because of the variations, we are diverse and we are interesting. And I think of it like this. This is a classic example, in my opinion, of how people can judge a group of people and sort of overlook the differences in a negative way, because the differences are what make people interesting. I lived in Los Angeles for about 5 years, and I had an office in Beverly Hills, and I was fortunate to be the hypnotherapist to the stars. And I left Los Angeles because I felt that it was too crowded and there were too many people for me. I was more used to the southeastern United States with a slightly slower pace of life, slightly fewer people, and a more relaxed, laid-back approach in general. But sometimes I hear people talk about Los Angeles in a negative way, saying that they just don't like it. They don't care for the people in Los Angeles. The people in Los Angeles are snooty and self-centered and so forth. And I say to them, really? Which city in Los Angeles? Because they oftentimes don't realize that Los Angeles actually comprises 67 different cities. And each of these cities has a unique personality. There's Venice, for example, where a lot of hippies are. There's right across the street where I lived, Marina del Rey, where there are no hippies. There's Beverly Hills, where my office was, where you have a lot of people who are celebrities going. There's Culver City, which is more laid back. There's East LA, which is more Hispanic. There's West Hollywood, which has a reputation of drawing a homosexual crowd. There's the Valley and the different cities in the Valley, which has a slightly laid back appeal, yet not quite like Venice. Each of these parts have their own identity. They have something they're known for. And people who live in Los Angeles know this and they accept it. It doesn't make any part right or wrong or good or bad or better or worse than the others. It's just the way it is. And that's accepted. But when people make a blanket statement and they say they don't like Los Angeles, I say, which city are you talking about? And usually they haven't even been there. Usually they just have a concept of it. Well, that's the way we tend to be. We tend to be that way about countries. We don't like a certain country because that country's been on the news lately. And that's a bad country. My television told me so. My TV told me what to think, and it told me that's a bad country. So everyone in that country's bad, and every part of that country is bad. That doesn't make any sense. Fortunately, these types of prejudices are becoming rare relative to how prominent they were in the past. People are becoming more enlightened. Every now and then, the news will need some country to blame for something, so that entire country will become villainized. They'll be on our bad list for a while, and the whole world will look at that country and say, bad country. And many times, the country I live in, the United States, is looked upon that way. The entire country is looked upon as a bad country. So we're not just talking about overlooking the diversity in one of the major cities of our country, Los Angeles. We're talking about overlooking the diversity of an entire country and just lumping it all into one category of bad. Fortunately, I feel that we are moving away from that, and we are at the very beginning of a new era, which is all about acceptance and understanding. And so this program is designed to help you become more a part of that movement. More a part of the acceptance movement. But it all starts with accepting yourself, and you're going to realize that as you go through the program. Spiritual enlightenment begins with getting to know yourself, getting to know who you are. There are diversities within yourself. You may have maybe not multiple personalities, but you may have different parts of yourself. You may express yourself differently at different times. There's a wonderful, rich diversity right within you. I want you to embrace that diversity. And I want you to embrace the diversity of the entire world, which means not just this planet, but any other planets we may discover have life on them. But that journey begins with a very simple step, and that step is getting to know yourself. So those are some of the things you can look forward to in this program. Right now, I want to take care of giving you the technical information about meditation, because this program actually wouldn't be complete without giving you that information. So I'm going to teach you now how to meditate. I'm going to spend a few minutes with you teaching you how to meditate. This is not how to properly meditate, by the way, because I don't believe that there's such thing as proper meditation. I believe that all meditation is valid, but I also believe there's a traditional way to meditate. So I want to teach that to you now. Traditionally speaking, meditation would occur at a certain time and a certain place. You would set aside a time of your day and a certain amount of time, let's say from 3 o'clock to 3:30. You would set aside a place, let's say a meditation room or part of your bedroom. You would perhaps have some candles and some incense in that place that you would burn during the meditation process. You would sit in comfortable clothing, your legs folded over each other. Your back would be upright, your chin parallel with the floor, eyes closed. Your wrists would be resting on your knees with your palms facing upward, and the tip of your left index finger would touch the tip of your left thumb, and the tip of your right index finger would touch the tip of your right thumb. You would make the OK sign with both hands, and that is a meditative position. To review, sitting upright with your legs folded, your wrists resting gently on your knees, your palms facing upward, making the OK sign with both hands. Your back is upright, chin parallel with the floor, eyes closed. If you choose to, you can burn a candle or some incense during the process. Traditionally, a white candle is used to signify purification. You can also have some relaxing music in the background, some meditative music. This would ideally be music without words, because the words can be distracting. And so you would sit with your eyes closed. You would allow your mind to clear, and you would think of a lake. For example, this is one way to do it. Think of a lake, and the lake may be a little stormy when you first think of it. The water may be moving around quite a bit. There might be quite a few ripples in the lake. There might be waves in the lake. It might be raining on the lake. It might be storming on the lake. But you let the lake calm down over time, over about 10 minutes. The more you meditate, the more quickly the lake can calm down, unless you've had a really rough day, for example. But while the lake's calming down, you would hear a bunch of chatter in your mind, ideas floating through your head, things people said, things that make you nervous, things that you have anxiety about, things that you want to do, things that are just floating through your head. You would let that chatter die down. And so ideally, by the end of about 10 minutes or so, you would have a calm lake and you would have no chatter. It's at that time that your mind is clear and you can begin to focus on what you want to focus on. Maybe you want to focus on having a wonderful day tomorrow. Maybe you want to focus on loving everyone you meet. Maybe you want to focus on something that's going on with you that you have anxiety about, that you want to be more calm about. But you would do that for approximately 20 minutes, and then you would simply open your eyes and end your session, blow out your candle, put out your incense, and your meditation would be over. That's one way to practice traditional meditation. So, if you're technical-minded and you wanted a blueprint for meditation, there you go. The rest of this program is going to be dedicated to opening your mind, to giving you ideas that you can meditate on, either by using that process or just by thinking about them throughout the day. Because this program is about spiritual enlightenment. And spiritual enlightenment doesn't happen by virtue of sitting a certain way or doing certain things. It comes by having insight. And insight comes by being exposed to ideas that are powerful for you, that are going to lead you along the path to your own spiritual enlightenment, to your own insight. Once you have insight about yourself, you can start to gain insight about others, and eventually the entire world. And you can begin to be part of the solution, part of the movement. There's no name to this movement. I'm not part of any organization that I'm trying to get you into. This is just a concept. You can become part of the growing awareness of the concept that we're all in this together, and that our individual enlightenment is important, and our group enlightenment is important. That, in my opinion, is what spiritual meditation is all about. So let me begin to introduce you to these concepts that you can take and you can make your own. All right, you've got a lot of information in your mind now, a lot of information that's come to you, a lot of information you've heard from me. There's a lot going on in your mind. Why don't we take a moment now, make sure you're not driving during this. If you're driving, don't listen to this part, do this part later. But if you're not driving, what I want you to do is close your eyes and let all those thoughts come to you, all those thoughts that are floating around in your head, let them come to you now. And I want you to start seeing them become organized. And I want you to start seeing them happening in your life. I want you to see them playing themselves out in your life somehow. All these ideas you have, I want you to find a place for them in your mind, whether in terms of a plan, or in terms of changing something about yourself immediately, or in terms of, it could even be a vacation you're thinking of taking. But those ideas that are coming to you now, as a result of listening to this material, what I want you to do with them right now, I don't want you to write anything right now. I don't want you to overthink anything. I just want you to close your eyes as long as you're not driving. I want you to close your eyes. And as I'm silent, just use your imagination and let your imagination run wild. See where these ideas will take you. Let these ideas float around in your mind as I'm silent and really let them play out. Just let them go wild in your mind. See where they take you. As I'm silent, do this now. right. Did you enjoy that? Now, probably what happened is initially, when you closed your eyes, you thought of a bunch of random thoughts and they didn't make any sense. Maybe some things were coming in that really didn't fit there. Sometimes when I close my eyes, I see all kinds of interesting images that don't have anything to do with what I'm talking about or listening to. But hopefully, after a little while, those images kind of settled down and meaningful images started to show up. Like, aha, that business idea I had, or that vacation I had, or that person I need to tell something to, or something started to develop, or maybe a series of things. When you let your imagination run wild, you often come up with ideas that you will not access if you're beating your head against the wall, if you're trying to figure something out. That's not as effective usually as just letting your mind run wild, because eventually your mind is going to settle down and is going to start giving you information that you can actually use. So I hope you use this exercise not only in this program, but outside of it as well. All right, let's take a little break now, and I want to make sure that you're with me, that you're paying attention and that you're learning something. So what I want you to do right now is, if you're driving and you can pull over, go ahead and do that. If you're not driving, then you can definitely do this. You can take out a piece of paper and you can write down 5 things that you've learned so far from what I've said. 5 things that resonated with you. Now, I want you to keep in mind, they don't even have to be 5 things that I said. Maybe you got some good ideas from what I said. Maybe I said something and your brain took it and blew it up 1,000,000 times and came up with all kinds of wonderful, amazing possibilities based on what I said. If that's the case, then feel free to write that down. I just want you to write down 5 things, whether they came from me or they're just thoughts that came in your head. 5 things that have come to you so far, either from me saying them or from you thinking them, as a result of listening to this program so far. So as I'm silent, I'm going to give you ample time now. I want you to write down 5 things, 5 thoughts that you have as a result of listening to this program so far. Do this now. Okay, do you have your 5 things? If not, go ahead and finish them up. 5 things, write them down. So I'm going to move forward now. Let's take those 5 things that you have written down, and I want you to elaborate on them. For example, if you have an insight number 1, that's I should change blank about myself, whatever it may be, I want you to elaborate on that. Whatever you've written down for point number 1, something that's come to you during listening to this program, I want you to elaborate on that now as I'm silent. Good. And now I want you to take point number 2 and elaborate on that. What was the second point that you wrote down, and how can you enhance this idea? I want you to make it real for yourself, because I want you to have, after you finish this program, something you can use. So on point number 2, elaborate on it. Consider what you wrote down as point number 2, the foundation. Now build a house on it. Go ahead and write down something now as I'm silent. Good. Now you're getting some momentum. Now for point 3. Point number 3 that you wrote down, something that came to you as you listened to this program, I want you to elaborate on point number 3 as I'm silent. Good. Now take point number 4, the 4th point that you wrote down, something that came to you while you're listening to this program. I want you to elaborate on point number 4 as I'm silent. Great. Last but not least, point number 5. Take point number 5 and elaborate on it as I'm silent. Good. So now you have something that you can take with you after this program. You have those 5 points that you elaborated on, and you can use them after this program's over. So let's continue on with the information now.